Hello all. Through this video, I'll be discussing in detail about another in situ test which is conducted to analyze the soil characteristics, and it is called as the pressure meter test. So pressure meter test is actually an in situ test, and we can what we analyze here is the stress strain relationship of the soil. Okay, at whatever depth we are conducting the test. So normally this pressure meter apparatus will have two parts. One part will be lying above the ground, and the other part will be lying inside the borehole. Okay, so for this test to be conducted, there should be a borehole into which you will be inserting the pressure meter or the actual probe. Okay, so what it does is it will apply pressure to the sides of the borehole, and the corresponding deformation or strains of the soil can be measured. So thereby it gives you the stress strain relationship of the soil at the depth where you are conducting the test. So normally there are three main types of pressure meter that is based on the principle on how it works. There are three types of pressure meters. There is a borehole pressure meter where already you should have formed or you should have drilled out a borehole, and then you insert this pressure meter apparatus into this preformed borehole and start conducting the test. Okay, so one such pressure meter which works on this principle is called as a Maynard type pressure meter. Now the second type of pressure meter is called as a self-boring pressure meter, where this instrument itself, this pressure meter itself, will have a provision to dig a borehole in the ground, and thereby the purpose is to reduce or induce minimum disturbance to your soil. Okay, so that is a self-boring pressure meter. Okay, the instrument will self-bore itself into the ground with the purpose of minimizing soil disturbance, which is otherwise caused by the insertion. Okay, then you have the third type of pressure meters where this instrument will be pushed into the ground from the base of the borehole, and the soil displaced by the probe. Okay, that is, the probe means probe is the one or the main apparatus of this pressure meter test which applies pressure to the sides of the borehole. Okay, and so the soil displaced by the probe during insertion enters the body of the instrument, reducing disturbance to the surrounding soil. Okay, so based on the principle on how it works, there are these are the three types of pressure meters. Okay, so we will be discussing about the Maynard type pressure meter in detail here. Okay, which works by already digging a borehole and then inserting this apparatus. So the pressure meter equipment actually consists of three main parts. It consists of the probe, which is the apparatus which goes inside the borehole and applies pressure to the sides of the borehole. Then you have the tubing, okay, and then the control unit. So this control unit is the part which lies above the ground surface, and the probe is the part which lies inside the borehole, and the tubing is the one which is a hollow tube which connects the control unit with the probe. Okay, now the figure on the right hand side shows the actual probe, okay, or the apparatus which is used, which goes inside your borehole. Okay, so this is the Maynard type pressure meter where you will have a probe like this. Okay, so outside it will this probe will look like as shown in the right hand side figure. Now on the left hand side, what you see is the inside part of this probe. Okay, so the main unit of this probe actually consists of three cells. Okay, there will be a middle cell which is called as the measuring cell or main cell. Okay, and then there will be two cells, one at the top and one at the bottom of the measuring cell. Now this measuring cell will be filled with water, whereas the guard cells will be filled with gas. Okay, now how it is filled with water and gas respectively is by providing a tubing. Okay, so hollow tube is connected to all three cells respectively, and the control unit can control the amount of gas and water to be filled in these three cells. Okay, and that is how it applies the the pressure to the sides of the borehole. by controlling the amount of water and gas to be filled in the three cells. Okay, now this three cells will be surrounded by this whole cell structure will be surrounded by a flexible membrane. So what you see on the right hand side is the flexible membrane which is surrounding the three cells. Okay, and it will also be expandable because ultimately you are going to apply pressure to the sides of the borehole. So whatever material you envelop the cells with, that should also be expandable. Okay, so this three cells will go inside this flexible membrane, and the whole apparatus, the probe, will look like this as shown in the right hand side figure. Okay, then the control unit can control the amount of pressure to be applied to the borehole by controlling the amount of water and gas to be filled in the three cells. Then there will be provision to measure the corresponding deformations formed in the soil as well. Now this is how the test setup would look like in the field. So you should have a borehole dug already, and at some depth you will insert your pressure meter apparatus. So you can see that the probe, this is the probe which goes inside your borehole, and the control unit will lie above the ground. Okay, so there will be tubings connected to these three cells uh, from the control unit. So there are three main steps which has to be followed for the MENA type pressure meter. That is the first type of pressure meter where we have to already dig a borehole before conducting the test. Okay, so the first step naturally will be to drill a borehole. Okay, wherever we are planning to conduct the pressure meter test. So for drilling a borehole, any boring technique can be employed, but whichever technique is employed should ensure least disturbance to the in situ soil. Okay, because if disturbance is caused, naturally the stress strain characteristics will not be a representative value of the field. So the boring technique should ensure that least disturbance is caused to the in situ soil, and there should be a certain specification that we have to maintain for the diameter of the borehole. Usually the diameter of the borehole should lie in the range of 1.03 times to 1.2 times the diameter of the probe. Okay, so it should lie between this range, 1.03 times the diameter of the probe to 1.2 times the diameter of the probe. Okay, so once the borehole is drilled to the required depth, then the next step is to place the main pressure meter apparatus that goes inside the borehole. Okay, so at the depth up to which you have dug the borehole, we have to lower the pressure meter apparatus, or it is called as the probe. We have to lower the probe into this borehole. Okay, and we have to position it correctly. So this lowering process, when it is done, it should be ensured that again no disturbance is caused to the surrounding soil, and also the probe is also not disturbed during the lowering process. Okay, um, then once the probe is actually lowered to the required depth, it has to be fixed by using a clamping device. So it will be fixed in position by means of a clamping device. Okay, so now you have dug a borehole, and then up to the required depth you have lowered or positioned the probe for the pressure meter test also, and fixed it using a clamping device. Okay, so there will be cables used for lowering this probe into your borehole up to the required depth. Now, once the borehole is positioned correctly at the required depth, then we can start the test. So, starting the test means you have to start applying pressure to the sides of the borehole. Okay, so you can start with a particular pressure. So, now that pressure is controlled by controlling the amount of water and gas in the corresponding measuring cell as well as the two guard cells. Okay, so so the valves which will allow the inflow of water and gas to these corresponding cells will be opened now, and the control unit will now control the pressure. Okay, so there are actually two ways by which you can apply the pressure to the sides of the borehole. So this is the procedure which I just explained. So there are actually two ways by which we can apply pressure to the soil, either by following the equivalent pressure increment method, or we can use the equivalent volume increment method. This is basically a stress controlled method and a strain controlled method that we can employ. Now in equivalent pressure increment method, what we do is we'll keep the pressure increment constant for a certain amount of time. Okay, so if the time is 1 minute, we keep the pressure increment constant for 1 minute, and then we after 1 minute we'll measure the corresponding volume change. Okay, so this is continued. Then the next pressure increment is applied, then it is kept for 1 minute. After 1 minute the volume change will be noted. So this will be continued up to a limit pressure. Okay, so normally this limit pressure is a pressure at which there will be unlimited expansion of the hole or at no additional loading. Okay, so practically it is difficult to find out this limit pressure. So generally we take limit pressure as 2 times the original probe volume. Okay, so we'll continue this experiment up to that limit pressure. Okay, so this is a stress control test. Now in equivalent volume increment method, we'll increase the volume increments by 5% for every increment. So for the first volume increment, it will be kept constant for about like 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, the corresponding pressure reading is taken. Okay, so this is how the test is continued. So here you keep the strain constant and corresponding stress or pressure is noted down. So it's a strain control test. The equivalent volume increment method is a strain control test. Now by either of this test, ultimately what you get is a plot between the pressure applied and then the volume change. Okay. So this is a typical curve that we get, and again based on the type of soil in which you are conducting the test, the slope of the curve will be different. And the one parameter that we obtain from the pressure meter test is the pressure meter modulus, okay, which is obtained from the straight line portion of the graph. Okay, so the slope of the straight line portion of the graph will give you the pressure meter modulus. Now this pressure meter modulus can be linked to the compressibility characteristics of the soil as well. There is an equation for that. So basically this pressure meter test is found to give more representative value of compressibility characteristics of soils. Okay, especially in soils where there are limitations um, in conducting other tests, other type of test, and yielding representative value of compressibility, this pressure meter test is found to be very accurate. Okay, especially for some pre-consolidated clays and all. And then as I said, normally the test is continued up to the limit pressure value, and since practically it's difficult to find out limit pressure, we normally keep the limit pressure as 2 times the original probe volume. Okay, and then one more precaution that we have to take while conducting this test is we have to make sure that the diameter of the bore should not be too large. Actually, the probe should sit tightly within the borehole if we want to yield good results. If the probe should sit tightly within the borehole. Okay, so the borehole diameter should not be too large. That is the only that is one of the precautions that we have to just keep in mind. And so for that we have to keep the dimensions of the borehole also within the specified range itself. Okay, so that is all about your pressure meter test. Now let's look at the few advantages and disadvantages of this test. Now if you look at the advantage, as I said, this pressure meter test gives a more representative picture of the strength and compressibility characteristics of soils compared to other in situ tests, especially in some soils like pre-consolidated clays and all. So the same values can be correlated with other soil properties in a more reliable manner. So it will be theoretically sound in determining other soil properties. When compared to other field tests, this test actually covers a larger zone of soil mass. It tests a larger zone of soil mass. But as you saw in the procedure itself, it's a very delicate test. We have to accurately control every parameter here and then conduct the test. And the one of the procedures we have seen that we have to position, once a borehole is made, we have to position the probe very carefully inside the borehole, because neither the probe should be damaged nor the soil should be disturbed. So the apparatus itself is very delicate to handle here. That's a disadvantage, because we have to take high precautions while lowering of the probe as well. Then obviously this whole procedure is a little time consuming and expensive as well. Then for conducting this test, huge expertise is required. So whoever is operating or conducting this test should have a great knowledge regarding the test and all the irregularities that can come during the conduct of the test. Okay, so these are the uh, advantages as well as few disadvantages of pressure meter test. So thank you all.